Clippers in just a second, but first, Rays versus Yankees. Brett Gardner making a superb leaping grab at the wall.
Oh, that's a theft.
Action.
Oh,
that's
yeah, he brings
squad,
it back into play. The Yankees on the roll now.
Nice focus there.
Oh, nice. Took it right out of the fan's hand there.
Oh, come on, Yankee fan.
Didn't watch the ball all the way in. The guy with the shades there.
Giants, Rockies, Tony Walter smacking one to center. Kevin Pillar charging in, makes a nice diving catch.
Right off the crack of the bat, Nick. No false steps by the center fielder. He's
No
reading
false
the pitch.
steps.
Off the bat, gets a great jump on it. Now, I expect that from a major leaguer now, Nick. That's not going to make Hall of Fame hands there.
That's a nice play, though, for
say
July
3 out of 5.
16th.
All right, finally, little Rockford East High School's Shaden Clanton dunking on a defender trying to take a charge.
That's what you get, young fella, for trying to take a weak charge in transition in Summer League.
Man, he's doing just what the coach told him. Sprint back, get right in the lane, but you got to take the charge with your chest, man. You can't be afraid.
Or try to go up and contest.
Oh, man, come on, stop, man.
It would have been better than that.
No, it wouldn't have. No, it wouldn't have.
Dramatic.
Couldn't have been worse.
It would have been an and one.
All right, moving on.
Dignity.
It took one offseason for NBA star power to flood Los Angeles. Anthony Davis joined LeBron and the Lakers. That's starry. But just down the hall, the Clippers got the reigning Finals MVP Kawhi Leonard to play alongside Paul George, also starry. And just like that, the Lakers-Clippers rivalry was renewed. AD can't help but agree, saying, quote, "It's going to be exciting, two juggernauts going at it. We'll see who comes out on top." Nick, which duo will have more success, LeBron and AD or Kawhi and Paul George?
In the short term, I think the better duo is clearly the one with the Lakers. I think they've got the best player of the four and obviously the best big man of the four. I think Paul George is the odd man out when you're ranking these three players.
So you're just saying, obviously, forget what your last season you said. Whoever during the regular season, we're going to determine the best player in the world. All right? Once we get into the playoffs, it will be up. Giannis, all those others. Well, he wasn't in the playoffs, so what happened with that? Because you just breezed over that. The Lakers got the best player. Oh, wait.
Kawhi has earned the title, and I think that a lot of people consider him now the best player in basketball. He's earned that title. LeBron ceded that title by missing the playoffs and then seeing Kawhi or Giannis was eligible as well going on that run. That is that is a truism. What also is true is this. Right now, as we sit here today in the middle of July 2019, do I believe Kawhi Leonard's a better basketball player than LeBron? I don't.
That's fine.
He can. Sometimes
you had to change the rules.
I'm not changing the rules. Sometimes the heavyweight champion of the world is not also the best boxer in the world, but he has the belt, so he gets the title. But regardless, even if you have what I was about to say is even if you think Kawhi is slightly better than LeBron. The odd man out with respect in this whole situation is Paul George. Paul George is the guy that is not one of those clear-cut 7 best players in the league. So in the short term, to me, there are actually less health questions with the Lakers duo than the Clippers duo. They have they have a more powerful twosome up top. Now, rest of the roster, coaching staff, those are questions. But right now, the team that I think is best positioned for this year and the next year is the one with the Lakers. The one that's best positioned for the next 6 to 8 years is the one that doesn't have a 34-year-old, soon-to-be 35-year-old on it. That's the Clippers.
Well, I don't think the duo, you're going to be able to separate. We can go through the NBA. There's like 8 duos, 6 really, really strong. And you can go like, oh, I like this guy, I like this guy. But to me, it's not about the duos anymore. I know we don't have the super teams. It's about the other guys around it.
Sporting
you went over Doc Rivers briefly. Doc Rivers' ability to make those backup players play the role that he wants them to play, I believe is more significant. So to me, it's not about Anthony Davis. It's not about LeBron. It's about those other role players. It's about what role will they play? Will they accept that role? Boogie Cousins, does he have to come off the bench? I know all the Clippers players, if they want to come off the bench, they've done it before. They got their bench mob and everything. So what's going to be the buy-in to the duos that make these things go? Because as we've seen in the playoffs, you need more than 2 good players. So for me right now, the Clippers I believe what they have is more dependable. I believe it's sustainable because the roles that they play, you know something? We got 3 of the best defenders. You know something? That's going to work every night. Compared to, I got to come up with a system. These 2 guys shouldn't be starters. Rondo shouldn't be a starter. Should Boogie Cousins be a starter? Those are things that have to be worked out. The Clippers are ready to go right now with Kawhi and with Paul George and the type of guys. Patrick Beverley as the point guard, Kawhi and Paul George. To me, there is no other team that can put the type of defense that the Clippers can put on you night in, night out, which I think is going to be dependable. But I believe those role players play more of a role than we're trying to give them credit, us going over all these duos.
The Lakers and Clippers have a similarity just inverse with each other, and that is, if the we know the Clippers are going to have a great defense, should be the best defense in the NBA, certainly the best in the Western Conference. If they have a top 5 offense to go along with it, they'll win the title, assuming health. The Lakers, I feel like we know, will have a great offense with LeBron and Anthony Davis. If they have a top 5 defense, they'll win the title. If they have a top 10 defense, they'll be right there. The questions for the Clippers that I think are not being, because people have talked about the Lakers lineup, coaching, and defense. The question to me with the Clippers is, you've got Kawhi and Paul George and Lou Williams coming off the bench. Do you have anyone else on that team that is an above-average offensive player? Because Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's gone. Danilo Gallinari's gone. They traded away Tobias Harris mid-season. Those were all moves they had to make to get this duo that we're talking about. But as strong as they are defensively, they only have 3 players on the roster that I think we know are even above average offensive players.
What's more likely, that the Clippers are going to be top 5 offensively, or that the Lakers are going to be in the top 5 defensively? It seems like as hard to
basketball pretty good. How much offense do you need in the NBA? Like, you need 3 primary scorers, right? So, yes, I can understand that someone's going to have to fit that 3rd, 4th scorer, but from a teamwork standpoint, if you look at Doc Rivers' teams, how do they play? This roster should be one of the better teams that he's had, going back to his Boston days, even better than when they had the big 3 with the Clippers with Chris Paul and Blake.
And for the Clippers, their role players know their roles. Where their roster turnover came at the top of the roster in the rookie Shai. It was Tobias. They won 48 games. I know Tobias wasn't there for the whole thing, but he was there up until the trade deadline. And then Gallinari, who was points per game, I think their leading scorer last year, aside from Tobias Harris. For the Lakers are a totally different team. So I don't know that we can use what they were good at or bad at last year as any indication of next year. They weren't a great defensive team last year, but they've got, from last year's team, is LeBron's still there. I know Rondo in KCP and Kuzma are still there, but except for Kuzma, in very different roles. They were playing Ingram, they were playing different guys. LeBron missed 27 games, and most importantly, defensively, they didn't have Anthony Davis last year, who is going to fix a lot of mistakes guys make on the perimeter defensively. There's not a lot of history we can rely on what the Lakers will look like on either side of the ball, because it's such a different team.
But all their games, I'm sure, will be on national television, so we will all find out. Take a break. Coming up, talk some football. Will Ezekiel Elliott be a no-show at Cowboys camp? That's next on First Things First.
And starting at like 10:34 p.m.